everyone. I want to dissect our awakening, your awakening process. I want to break it down because this is something that you remember deep within your beingness, but you have perhaps forgotten. It's very basic what we're actually going through. It just feels very complicated and challenging at times. But what I'm about to share with you is a deep remembrance within your cells. It's held within your DNA. So this is nothing new. So here it is. The simplicity of your awakening. You are a consciousness. Okay? You are not human and you're not physical. Right? Many of us, most of us could probably agree to that. We are having a human experience. So you're a soul or a spirit, you're a spark of God, you're consciousness, you're light, you're a light being, whatever you want to call yourself, it doesn't matter. You are consciousness that chose to incarnate into the physical body you find yourself in right now. And you became a human. You chose it out of free will. The quantum field holds a universal law called free will. And based on free will, you chose the life that you're in right now. Now, the moment you became the human, you were indoctrinated into a world or a matrix that held deep programs. And these programs are like shields that are going to glaze over the remembrance of who you actually are. And so as you began to look out into the world with these sparkling, clear, conscious eyes of light, programming began to come in from the external world and glaze over that clear, conscious sight that was your pure essence, the you of who you are and who you have always been. And so you began to live day after day, year after year, with massive amounts of programming coming in, telling you who you are, telling you what to think, telling you what to feel, experiencing traumas from the external world, experiencing unworthiness, lack, right? Abandonment, sexual trauma, physical trauma, emotional trauma, right? All these ways that we're supposed to be in the world, the behaviors that are correct, the behaviors that are incorrect, massive amounts of deep programming were conditioned into you and into your human experience. And eventually you forgot that you are pure consciousness in physical form, having a human experience that is based in physicality with a huge amount of consciousnesses that you're going to experience, like fear and anger and resentment and joy and peace and love and intimacy. From that higher perspective as pure, clear consciousness, you understood that everything you experienced was okay. It was part of being the human. But because you were deeply programmed, you began to believe very quickly that there were right ways and wrong ways to do this, that there were emotions that felt good and emotions that didn't feel good, that if this happened to you, it meant that you were not a good person, that you were not worthy of love, that you were not worthy of being seen or held or heard or received. And so we grew up year after year believing these programs. And so what is your awakening right now? You are snapping out of the deep programmed states that you have been in and believed yourself to be your entire life. And there are layers upon layers upon layers of programming that are over that pure consciousness lens. And they pop up as thoughts, beliefs, behaviors, emotional states, trauma, shadow, triggers. And so what are you doing right now? You are slowly and courageously peeling back the programming that's connected to your thoughts, your beliefs, your behaviors, your relationships, your trauma, your shadow, the triggers that people point at in order for you to see all of the programming. And you are going deeper and deeper back in to the pure consciousness that you have always been your entire life. You are designed to be able to hold the lens of that consciousness, the lens of who you have always been. Call it higher self, call it consciousness, whatever you want to call it, soul, spirit, while you simultaneously walk through a world that is full of heavy, dark consciousnesses like fear and evil and greed and manipulation and mind control. While you continue to watch yourself deprogram yourself from mass programming, and you do it all with the compassionate eyes of I am consciousness experiencing a human journey. I am doing the best I can, and I have never been anything that I've experienced. This has all been a divine design that you agreed to, whether you believe that right now or not. You agreed to all of how this was going to work, and your awakening is the greatest gift that you can give yourself. You are coming back home to you, which means you are going to have to feel all of the deep programmed ways that you have thought yourself to be. You're going to have to feel the unworthiness, the lack, the fear of being loved, the fear of being seen, the fear of being hurt, not being worthy of speaking, of receiving abundance, whatever that deep programming is and that trauma is. You got to go in to feel it and to see it, to honor it, in order to peel it away so that you can remember that you have never been it. This is the awakening. This is what evolution looks like. It is you moving back to who you have always been, while you continue to elevate your human experience by stepping into and choosing higher states of consciousness, by deprogramming yourself from every single way that you thought you were designed to live in this lifetime. So you are stepping out of all the old ways that you have lived, and you are courageously stepping into new ways of living, new ways of being. You are setting yourself free from the illusion that you were never free, because you have always been free, but you have been deeply programmed. So allow those layers to come off. Allow yourself to feel it all. Remember, this is how it is designed. This is not an accident, a mistake. How did I get here? This is the most massive evolutionary shift in human consciousness, and you chose to be a part of it. So devour it. Do not hide from it. Do not deny any aspect of you that is saying, please see me, because I am a deep program that I need you to acknowledge so that you can come back home to you. Keep digging, go deeper, clear out the programming, and see through the lens of absolute clear consciousness, which is who you have always been. I love you.